Micklow, and I'm here with Christoph from Crazy in the Brains.
I'm sitting here by myself and I'm staring straight at the wall. While you're out with your friends and you don't really care at all. Oh baby, babe, just say my name and everything will be okay.
You're about to take off on a 15-day East Coast tour opening for Leftover Crack and Negative Approach. What kind of things do you do mentally and physically to prepare for a tour like that?
I try not to prepare too much. Like, I'll prepare maybe like 75% because I like to keep it open for spontaneity. I just like to keep it loose. So our set list, you know, we practice our songs, but we keep it open. Like, I don't like to keep it too tight because at our shows, like, people always be yelling out songs or whatever, like, oh, play this, play that. We just like to, you know, give people what they want. So
Yeah.
I don't prepare too much. I mean, I do like vocal warm-ups, like these things. I do. I like to do that, like, but again, not too much because I think my voice is what it is, you know. Like, I'm not trying to be an opera singer, but I like to keep the grit. Get in the mindset of, like, you're gonna be playing shows for about 2 weeks, you know. Like,
Yeah.
it's really more exciting than it is stressful for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, so I saw that you recently opened playing for SZA Crack. You were
Yeah.
his backing band on a show. Is that kind of how this tour came about? And, you know, is that, you guys already know each other, so you must be looking forward to this.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. I'm guessing that's probably where it came from, you know. I mean, we just became more friendly through that.
Yeah.
And obviously grew up listening to the group. And Negative Approach also, they came through our DIY spot maybe about 2 years ago. So
Yeah.
we met them.
Your sound as a band, you guys have punk and hip hop influences, but then you also have a xylophone and then traditional instruments. What's your process when you're making music to kind of hone in on your sound so you're not like all over the place? That it sounds like you guys instead of just a bunch of fucking noise.
The sound sort of developed on its own.
Yeah.
It's just a product of all the influences we have, and we kind of just sprinkle them in. It luckily turned out to be something that people enjoy, you know. The xylophone kind of just came about sort of on accident, you know. Like, Jeff was going to school studying classical percussion, and he had that thing laying around his house, and we just said, yo, let's give this a try, and it became one of the most driving forces in the music and the way it's written. So it started out as one thing, and it's been evolving ever since, and I plan for it to continue to evolve, you know. I think that's what keeps it exciting.
Yeah, I mean, like, I like listening to your music because it's, for all these different elements, there's still like a good cohesiveness to it where it's still, it makes sense and there is still structure to your songs as opposed to it just being like a bunch of fucking noise of like, what are all these sounds that are happening? You know, it really does come together, which is crazy because of all the different influences you do have.
Pour me a tall glass of cocktail sauce. Fuck with me unprepared and you already lost. Dick Gregory came to me in a dream, explained the secrets of sacred ancient technology. Universal love is universal law. That's a scientific certainty, you know this, y'all. I'm feeling chunky like Zach Galifianakis. It's time to eat light seaweed soup and brown rice. Celebrate life fresh and raw, peace and love, rest in peace. Joe Strummer, rest in peace. Nina Simone, savory sauteed soursop juice. I got a bald head and a crooked snaggle tooth. Young and stupid, wild and free. You can catch me doing naked backflips in the parking lot at Burger King. It's me.
What started your path as a musician? Did you have professional training growing up?
I have zero professional training. Zero. I'm self-taught.
How did you get started though? Like, what made you want to be a musician?
Well, I never really wanted to be a musician originally. I wanted to be a comedian when I was a kid. That's why we have the song, which kind of explains that, Saturday Night Live, which is on our first record.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a comedian. Turns out I'm not that funny. So that didn't really, I didn't continue on that path. But a friend of mine, you know, we were teenagers, like, into music. A friend of mine bought a guitar. And he's like, yo, I want to start a band. And I was like, okay, I'll play the drums. That's what I originally was more driven to musically. I wanted to play the drums, and he was like, "Nah, you're gonna play the bass." So for years, I started playing. I was playing the bass, and then that band ended. Picked up the guitar. Jeff sort of like coached me along, taught me some chords, and then here we are today. You know.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of guitar, you used to play that in your live sets, but you don't anymore.
Yeah.
Why the change?
I still write all the songs on the guitar.
Yeah.
Live, I mean, it's just part of the natural evolution. I feel like, you know, like I was the only guitar player in the band, and the performances started to get a little like more and more crazy. You know, I'd be standing on one leg and like jumping in the crowd, and they just started getting more and more out there.
Yeah.
And at the same time, a friend of ours, Ernest, who's in the band now, he was kind of showing his face around shows a lot and just kind of peeking his way into our world. And we were like, "Yo, like, you want to play guitar?" He was a guitar player.
Yeah.
Like, "Yeah, you wanna jam with us?" It was just loose, you know. Like that's kind of how this whole thing operates, like loose and natural. And we tried it out. People liked it. Originally, nobody wanted us to do it. When we first started talking about it, you know, close friends and like fans that we were like friendly with were like, "No, you can't, you need to play the guitar." But usually when people tell us not to do something, it's sort of like an indication of like, I feel like we should.
Yeah.
Even originally, this band was a duo, just Jeff and I.
Mm-hmm.
And when we wanted to incorporate drums and bass, everyone was like, "No way, you're gonna ruin it. You're gonna ruin the sound." And it turns out that wasn't true. You know?
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's dumb. It's like, what do they know?
yeah, I mean, people don't like when things change, you know, especially with music. You know, when anything changes about a band or they do an album that's a little different or members leave or whatever, everyone's like, "Oh my God, like it's gonna be ruined." But that's not. Sometimes it's the case, but
Yeah.
luckily for us, like it wasn't. And I think where we're at now is cool. And like I said, I think it's gonna continue to evolve. Who knows? You know, down the line, what the configuration of the group will be, but for right now, I think it's cool, and we're happy with it. Come on, give me what I need. Come on, give it up to me. Oh, brain freeze. You know I need it, baby. Brain freeze. You know I need it, baby.
A lot of your songs have food references, but they're not actually about food. It's metaphors for other things. Can you talk about the parallels of the true meanings of your songs and the relation they have to food?
Yeah. I mean, I'm Italian, number one, so I grew up, you know, within our culture, food is a massive force in the culture. A lot of, almost every culture, that's the case, but with Italians, it's like every occasion is an excuse to have a big meal.
Mm-hmm.
And meals are sort of kind of within my family, like where we connect, and it's kind of like a sacred type of moment within your family and within my upbringing. My grandfather was an immigrant from San Vito,
Okay.
southern Italy, Calabria. He came here when he was a young adult, and for all my life he had gardens in our backyard, and he grew vegetables and all that stuff. So I got into cooking, and I had a love for food, and then through that I got into vegetarianism, you know, and all that, and so there's that aspect to it. Like food sort of plays a big role in my life, you know, I with my interest in cooking and all that. And then my love for lyricists, you know.
Yeah.
Poets, authors like James Baldwin, Patti Smith, Bob Dylan, obviously hip hop, you know, every rapper ever, the way rappers and poets kind of like bend words and sort of manipulate words and use metaphors and symbolism. Like, I love all that. So my approach to songwriting comes from that influence, you know. And I just try to I'm trying to paint a picture of my life using maybe some different colors, you know, like something a little different. That's just my way of, you know, putting my little spin on it.
Do you think that maybe sometimes it's also because it's a way for you to say what you really want to say, because if people are listening to your lyrics and they know what they're really about because they know you and the people that are inspired by them, it's a way for you to have that release maybe, that you can say what you want to say? Or
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a more interesting way to say what I want to say. You know, there's so many songs that are right to the point, and those are dope songs too.
Yeah.
Like take a song like Ice Cream. I think it's pretty obvious what it's about, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just more fun to talk about it in the way that we're talking about it in that song than to just say, you know, the basic, you know, I'm in love. I'm attracted to you. Blah blah blah. Like, I want your ice cream. Just seems like to me like it's just it's just more me, you know.
Yeah.
Candy Yams is another example of that idea. Like, it's a song about not sugarcoat your opinions and whatnot. And yeah, it's just an alternative way of writing music, I think. And for me, it's fun. You know what I mean? And I gotta be having fun. You know what I mean? That's the point of one of the main points for doing this. So
I love your music, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today.
I'm Christoph from Crazy in the Brains, and you're watching Last Rockers TV. I'm gonna tie a string to Adele like she is a balloon. Hold on tight and fly up high in the sky till she reach the moon. See what I'm saying? No, I'm not even playing, cause I'm bored right out of my skull. If I gotta be this boy